In this very special Market Money episode, we celebrate International Women's Day. So we'll start with our CEO and co-founder Renee as she shares 7 steps to financial health. Next, we'll get into a segment where the members of the LGI team share our stories of the women in our lives who've had the biggest impact on our finances. I look forward to that segment and hearing your thoughts on it. And let us know in the comments below the women in your life who've had the biggest impact on your finances. I look forward to those stories in the comments. And we close out this special episode with an interview with Dr. Kim. We'll hear a bit about her company, how it got started, the market she's serving, and to get an appreciation for women in business and entrepreneurship. It's going to be a great episode. I really do hope you enjoy it. Remember to like this video, subscribe if you're brand new, and we look forward to your comments on your stories of the women who've had the biggest impact on your financial journey.
Let me paint a picture for you. You just receive your monthly salary and you're left with just enough money to pay the bills with little to no savings. You keep telling yourself that next month is going to be different because you're going to start saving next month. But the same cycle continues. Does that sound familiar? For many women, financial planning can feel like an intimidating task. Add the responsibilities of caring for a family, of working, financial planning feels even more daunting. But it doesn't have to be. It's time for women to break this cycle and take control of your finances. I can hear you saying, I just don't get it. You're like, Renee, you're COO, Learn, Grow, Invest. You got this. You clearly you figured this out. No, not really. But it's never too late to start building a solid foundation for a brighter financial future. Truth is, I didn't start getting it together until 8 years ago. So it's not too late for you today. Here is a 7-step guide to help you gain control over your own finances, make informed decisions, and set yourself up for long-term success. This is the Learn, Grow, Invest learner model. The first thing I want you to do is look at your current financial position. What do you own? What do you owe? Is there anything that maybe is in your asset column? Those are the things that you own that you forgot you can leverage to help you in a situation where you need it. For instance, I know growing up, my mom always put some money aside. Immediately, the salary deduction was a real thing for her, and it would go straight to her investment account or to my savings account. It's not something that I ever saw, but coming into adulthood, I was able to benefit from those investments and from those savings that she would have put aside for me. A lot of times, those were the things that she pulled on to get uniforms, to get books, etc. for school. But it's not something that you think about readily because it is done so automatically. So look at your current financial position and think about all of the areas in which you actually have ownership, have assets. What of value do you have? And then also consider what you owe. What are your liabilities? What are your recurring liabilities? Every month you need to pay these things. What are the one-off liabilities that maybe only once for the year you need to pay? The periodic ones, every quarter you need to pay. Establish all of those things. What are they? Put them on paper. Because I know a lot of times we will think about it and say, oh, I know it, it's in my head. But I can tell you that countless times, though I know I have a phone bill to pay every single month, many months, I actually forget. Right? I actually forget. So if I don't have a reminder in my phone or something like that, or a spreadsheet where we're tracking our expenses, etc., then I will forget. So write it down on paper. It also helps to bring your actual position into perspective. Many times we think that we're worse off than we are. So take the time to do this exercise and then establish the difference between your assets and liabilities, meaning assets minus liabilities equals your net worth. How much is that number? Is it positive? Is it negative? If it is negative, how can you bring it to positive? If it's positive, how can you benefit from the positive net worth that you have? And that's what the following steps are going to talk about. So, step 2 is to establish your goals. Now that you know what you have, where you really are, it's an excellent time to establish where you want to be. Where do you want to go? What are the goals that you have for yourself, for your family, for your career? What do you want to do? What requires funding? And how can you fund it? How can you increase your income? How can you decrease your expenses? Because remember, there are only two ways that your financial position really gets better. You either increase your income or you decrease your expenses. Well, truly, there's a third. You can do both, both together, increasing the income and reducing your expenses. But that's really what it boils down to. So, what are your goals, and how can you now position your finances to fund those goals? Third is to assess your options. This is where the how comes in, the what comes in. What can you do? When I talk about what can you do, I'm not talking about all of the big steps, the major things. What are the small things you can do, even now, with what is already in your hands? Meaning, do you have a skill that you can use to help you to earn more money? Do you have things in your home that maybe you could thrift? You could position as a great opportunity for someone else to utilize because you no longer have use for it. Could you do a flash sale for your wardrobe? Could you even use your skills to do hair or makeup to earn additional income? Those are things that you would have already honed, skills that you would have already honed. And it doesn't require you to build a whole business before you get started. Just start with what you have. Also, you do have the option of starting a business, sure. If you have that aptitude, the desire, you have that drive and passion for business, and you have been lingering and not actually starting the business, maybe now is the time to start it. Maybe now is the time to generate income through a business for yourself. Additionally, you can consider changing your job. Sometimes you can do the same job you're doing now somewhere else and get paid differently, get paid more. Is that a viable option for you? These are just some things to think about. And then of course, there are options like investing. Can you invest in a way that brings returns to you and helps with your cash flow? Can you invest or save towards something in a way that can help your position? Number 4, research the shortlisted options. So after you have assessed all the possibilities, like that would have been your brainstorming, your brain dump, put everything out, lay it all out on paper. Shortlist it. What are the ones that are really practical for you right now, in this moment? What are those things? And when you shortlist those, start researching them now to say, hey, okay, what can I do right now that can make a difference most readily? What's the low-hanging fruit? And how can you utilize that now? And I say research it because you're not going to jump in it blindly. We're not doing that. It's 2024. We're not doing that, right? We are going to research and be prepared for whatever it is we're going into. We're going to ensure that the things that we're pursuing are practical, We're going to do the feasibility studies. We're going to check it out and say, yes, this is something that fits my lifestyle. This is something that fits my financial standing. This is something that fits my goals. Number 5, normalize investing. So whether investing was one of your shortlisted options or not, I want you to normalize investing, because this is something that will help you both short term and long term. It will help you because your investment portfolio is what can pass on from generation to generation. It is what helps you to leave an inheritance for your children's children. Investing is not just something nice to do, it's something you need to do in order to keep up with and even beat inflation. It's something that will help you to bounce back when there are things that jolt you financially. It's the cushion that you need to have in your life as we go through these years and days that are so uncertain. And of course, here on Learn, Grow, Invest, we have a number of videos that can help you get started with investing. There's a whole playlist of videos under Investing for Beginners, and I invite you to take a look at those. Listen keenly, take the notes, and put into action the things that are discussed in those videos. And of course, we also have our investment challenge that's ongoing now. You can join at any time. It's $30 per month, and it gives you the accountability, the content, the support in order to normalize investing and to get ahead with your financial status. The next point, the next E in learner, is establish your emergency fund. The emergency fund is necessary. This is your more easily accessible cash, more easily accessible than your investments, right? So it's more easily accessible than investments, but not as easily accessible as your day-to-day bank account, right? Stay with me. So the emergency fund is intended to help you in times of need and times of, well, emergencies. And emergencies need to be defined. So for you, whether it's for you as an individual or you as a couple or you as a family, you need to agree and be clear on what defines an emergency and be clear that that is what that money is for. Emergency funds are not, oh, I'm short this month, let me just pull from that. Emergency funds are for things like, oh, I had a car accident and I need to fix the car. Oh, the fridge stopped working and it needs to be replaced. Or we had a medical emergency and we need to pull on those funds. Be very clear. Those are suggestions, yes, but be very clear on what it means for you. It's not meant to be something that is just there in case, or you want to watch a movie this weekend, but you're kind of short, so let me just pull on the emergency funds. Don't do that. You need to build the discipline to have your emergency fund ready for actual emergencies. Because guess what? Many emergencies happen when we don't have access to our investment funds. And how much time do you need to actually convert your investments to cash? In the event of a true emergency, you're at the hospital cashier waiting to pay the funds so that you or your loved one can be treated by a doctor. Is that the time that you really want to be pulling on an investment? Certainly not. So it may mean using your credit card at that point and replenishing it with your emergency fund after. That's an option. But whatever it is that you choose to do, or however it is you choose to deal with those situations, ensure that the fund is there. And the final point, the second R in learner, is retirement planning. As you seek to build up your nest egg, as you seek to be financially empowered and to be confident and comfortable in moving forward in life, you must have a retirement plan in place. The pension alone is not enough. And that's not a question. That's a fact. It's not enough. So, how are you planning to supplement that? What are you putting in place to supplement the pension that maybe you may be getting from your workplace or the government? How are you supplementing it? Again, this is where investments come in. These may be longer term investments. You would have a longer time horizon for these investments to come to fruition. It may be a property or a property fund that you're investing in, but the retirement plan needs to actually be a plan, and it needs to be something that you're disciplined about executing as well. So with these 7 steps, I believe that it will help you get into a position where you are financially empowered. And it's not intended to pressure you into trying to do everything all at once, but instead, it is a guide to help you go through the checklist one after the other. Okay, let's take this one step at a time, one bite at a time, and get to the point of financial freedom and financial empowerment. So no matter what you believe about money, as a woman, taking control of your finances and planning for the future gives you a sense of security, freedom, and peace of mind that we all want. The time to take that control is now. Today, as we seek to celebrate the power of women to inspire change in our lives and around the world, we want to take the time out to say thank you for the financial lessons that have been imparted by our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunts, our sisters, our cousins, the women in our lives.
So when I was a youngster, my grandmother used to tell me to carry home $10 every single day out of my lunch money when I'm coming from school. Now I used to find all sorts of excuses to tell her when I didn't bring it home, either the money lost or teacher had some special event happening that I had to donate to. Something would always happen when I didn't carry it home, but that didn't stop her from punish me. She would just pinch my nose so hard at times that I felt like I was growing extra nose like Pinocchio. But it would always amaze me when it reached the end of the year, it's Christmas time, and I'm allowed to take that money out of my piggy bank. I'd always feel so nice because I can buy all the balloons and all the clappers I want to. And I became so good at it after a while, saving my little $10 and my little $20, that she herself would call me a miser when she wanted money to borrow. And I would say, no grandma, that's my money, and I wanted to buy balloons at the end of the year. And to this day, I still save every $10 and $20, and it still amazes me every time when I take up my pan and it equates to thousands of dollars. Thank you, Grandma.
One lesson that I learned from my mother was that it's not what you save, it's what you keep. And my mother would always tell me this over the years, and it's something that I have kept, a financial lesson and a principle that I have kept. And this has come in and helped me in past times in my life. So I remember having situations where I had an emergency come up, but I was fine and I could cover those emergencies because I had saved money from my salary, just from money that I was getting. And so that's one thing that I would tell anyone. I would encourage anybody and say, it's not what you receive in terms of your earnings, it's what you are intentional about keeping that's going to make the difference in your life. So I just want to shout out my mommy and tell her thank you for all this lesson and others.
So I can think about 4 women who've had a significant impact on how I view money and some of the things that I still practice with money even now. So I'll start with my younger sister. She taught me the value of, always tracking my money and having a plan. So I'll see her, make her notes, have her financial plan, and that has stuck with me all these years. Then there's my older sister who has taught me not to let any money go unaccounted for. And I've just have such a glaring example of her losing, I believe it was $50 or $100, and she would turn the place upside down because that $100 was important to her. And then there's my mom, who I would see just save and save very consistently. Even when you think she has absolutely no money left, she has a little bit. And so that habit of saving has stuck with me throughout my life. And then there's my wife, who I've seen rely so much on God to provide. And that has really ministered to me in terms of just, when I don't have everything figured out, when I don't know where my next set of funds are coming from, I turn to the Lord, and He has shown me that He will provide, and He has used my wife to minister to me in that way. So to those 4 women, thank you so much for your impact.
So one of the greatest lessons my mother taught me, without even saying a word and more through her actions, was the importance of saving and investing a little at a time. So my mom was that girly who would be putting $2,000 a month into some investment or some credit union or some account that would come directly from her salary. And it wasn't something that you even thought about until you needed it. So she always had that little bit that eventually added up. And those little bits that she would have put away are the things that helped me or helped her to get me through high school and university. So thank you, Mom, for being diligent with what you had and doing the very best with all that you had so that I could reap the benefits of it and actually practice the same things today. So thank you.
A happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day from Learn, Grow, Invest.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kimberly Johnson. Everybody knows me as Dr. Kim. I'm a medical doctor of 9 years, and I specialized in aesthetic medicine and anti-aging, being an American board certified aesthetic medicine physician. So Skin by Dr. Kim started out of me needing to fix my skin. I had very bad acne, and it was very difficult to get the help in a timely manner. And after doing the research and fixing my own skin, persons started to ask for help. Then I discovered that there was a big deficit in skincare or fast skincare that will provide fast results. So I went ahead and created a platform on social media, mainly YouTube and Twitter, to help persons. And the great demand propelled me to go ahead and do specialization in aesthetic medicine. And here we are with Skin by Dr. Kim Limited and our first project, which is our Aesthetic and Medical Center. So the growth of the business stems from the growth of the brand. And the brand, as I stated before, came from people wanting help with their skin. And they saw a walking example of great skincare and, proof that it can be fixed in a short space of time. And so that brand growth through social media propelled us to do the business. Now, the business is rooted in science and research, and it has a strong scientific foundation. So I invested in getting the proper education and specialization so I could give my patients the best care. And that has helped us to create this brand that is credible. So 1, I invested in my education, but 2, we invested in high quality products, high quality technology with the newest research and information. And this has yielded us quite remarkable results with our patients. And that's what we're known for, giving great results in a short period of time. So when I just started, before I created this Skin by Dr. Kim Limited, it was self-funded. When I decided to expand and go off and do, a big practice, then I approached an investor with a business plan, and he said yes. Aesthetic medicine is that specialization or that area of medicine that really deals with skincare, anti-aging procedures, so the cosmetic aspect of medicine. Contrary to popular belief, it is a medical specialization and it should be practiced by medical practitioners. So another thing that I would say that makes Skin by Dr. Kim as a business very unique is that we have a wide range of services. People look at me and say, how do you guys manage to do so many things? Well, guess what? Every staff member at Skin by Dr. Kim is trained in all these things. So everybody can do anything here. But also, we don't just stick to skin. We do all aspects of anti-aging and wellness. So we do the cosmetic treatments, Botox, fillers, but we go further into treating patients with IV vitamin therapy, which is something that is not very common again locally. So that's us keeping up with what's in first world. And most patients who come from overseas want to do their IV vitamins while they're vacationing. We also do weight management in a non-invasive or minimally invasive way. So you don't need surgery to get the ideal body that you need. And if you have complications that will prevent you from doing surgery, then this is where you want to be. And the next thing is we treat erectile dysfunction in a very unique way. So we cater to our women and our men, because most people think that cosmetics is just women. We cater to our men as well. So this is how we're like dabbling in all aspects of aesthetic medicine and anti-aging. And so we're bringing everything to everyone who is seeking something under one roof with the best research and the highest technology. So what it deals with is aesthetics, what you look like. So we'll treat the skin, the issues that come with the skin, to give you an aesthetically pleasing result. We can do cosmetic procedures that will, alter, enhance whatever issues you think you have as a patient. And this is from head to toe. So we're looking at the beauty of medicine. Success for me is achieving everything I went through in my business plan, the projections we made, the short-term, long-term goals. And I'll start with the short-term goals. It is achieving the targets that we set out, and day by day with our improvement in marketing and PR and sticking to our strategies and our business plan, we are seeing that success. Well, not in the near future, but later on, possibly with the expansions we plan to do, but not right now. I would say not for 5 years. First of all, just like our foundation, be an expert. Invest in your knowledge, in your specialty, and that will build credibility. That's one. Two, it also puts you on the same stage or makes you competitive with the leaders in the industry, which aren't in Jamaica. The leaders in the industry are in first world. So aesthetic medicine is new to Jamaica. And then the next thing, you have to live up to your brand. So if you want to sell luxury, if you want to be in a luxury niche, you must also believe it. So in my mind, Skin by Dr. Kim is not a small company. It is large in our minds, and we practice every day. How we practice, how we market, how we deliver customer service is at that level. And until we get there, we just continue to do that. So one, invest in your credibility, educate yourself, invest in high quality equipment so you can deliver high quality results. People want to ensure that when they spend their money, it is worth it. The 3 to 5 year goal, and we plan this out from day one. The first one is skincare line. Skin by Dr. Kim. I have in the past used multiple things to create one result. Now I can put that all into Skin by Dr. Kim. So we're creating our skincare line that is going to be even more so catering to people with skin of color, because that was one of the difficulties I had, and people are finding the right skincare for them. So the first thing is our skincare line. And secondly, we definitely have to expand, not just in Jamaica, but outside of Jamaica, because we have clients coming from Europe, US, UK. It's amazing. We have patients flying in every second from the Netherlands. So expansion to not just Jamaica, but other territories outside of Jamaica. Those are, I would say, the main ones. We have other ways of expansion, but you'll have to stay tuned to see that. Okay, so one of the things I pride myself in is that I have a very strong clinical background. Prior to doing aesthetic medicine, I was in internal medicine and pulmonology, which is lung medicine. What I brought with this is that clinical, meticulous, organized thought process to treating patients. And that came over in skincare. So when you come to me, it's not just throw something on your face, do this procedure. What it is thought out, scientific, strategic. And that is how I stand out, because more and more people try to cut corners to save cost. but you have to invest that passion, the research, and the time. And that is what you're getting. That's what stands out. And also, this forces me to stay current with all the newest technologies. So most times when you come to Skin by Dr. Kim, you're going to be hearing about something that you never heard about. But then when you go and research, you're saying, wow, this really existed. Aesthetic medicine is one of those areas of medicine where I would say skincare is neglected, but when it comes to a person seeking to diversify their investment, let's take a look at the US market. In 2022, it was 104 billion US dollars generated from skincare, and that is expected to grow by 6.7% up to 2030. Now, that is in the US. We haven't gone into the UK or Europe, and this is quite new to Jamaica. For persons who are thinking, oh, maybe I need to expand this to Jamaica. Maybe I need to diversify how we invest in Jamaica. This is one of the areas you can look at. So how would we improve this? We need more providers to become specialized so we can have a structure to it, because in Jamaica it's not very regulated. Once we have that structure that we see in the first world countries, it's easier for investors to say, okay, let's make Jamaica a vacation and skincare country. Just like we fly to DR to do surgery or cosmetic surgery, why can't Jamaica become that?